All right, we're ready to go, Sandy.
Alrighty, I just have to say thank you so much to Jill Wagner for coming on. I'll let her tell you, she's had all kinds of challenges, yet she is here. And why I invited Jill to speak is because I've been watching this amazing woman on TikTok. On social media, and she is real. She is so authentic, and she's attractive. People want to follow her. She has way over 1 million followers on TikTok because people want to follow her, and that we are in the business of relationship marketing and attraction. And so I want to rub elbows with someone who is as attractive and fun to watch as Jill Wagner is. And that's just a snippet. There's so much about her I just love. She has a deep love for her family. You will catch all this. I want to give her as much time to speak. Just really quickly though, she's a wife of 23 years. She looks about 28, and she has a mom of her husband Brian, and she have 3 boys and a daughter aging from 17 to 23. And she started in the Juice Plus business in 2007, and it became the gift she never knew she needed. And as a young mom, she tried on a whole bunch of things: a teaching degree, real estate license, a business owner, and multiple network marketing, until she found the Juice Plus company and found her passion. And now her team hit national marketing director in 2016, and her goal is to help even more people find their passion and create a life of choices. Thank you so much for coming on, Jill.
Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you. I apologize, you guys, for being late. I am so sorry. That is, life getting in the way is not an excuse for me not to be here on time. So I apologize for that. Okay. So can I screen share?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me go into this. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to be talking on. I just hadn't figured it out exactly yet. But let me see. How do I go to?
There's a slideshow up at the top.
Yep, there it is. My thing that's covering it. There we go. From beginning. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about social media, but I may skip through some of these flyers too, or some of these slides too, because I want to touch on, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. How much time am I going to have here?
You've got 30 minutes, about. Okay. But if we really love you, which I think we will, Jill, and I know Sandy will, because I follow you everywhere, we can go over a few minutes.
Okay, well, I'll just, if you guys need me to cut me off, all right? So how many of you, I would love to see your hands. I can see some of you. How many of you have some sort of social media? Okay, how many of you feel like you have some room to improve on social media? Okay, how many of you are terrified and you have no idea where to start when it comes to social media? All right, I know there's a few of you. So let's just talk about this first of all, because have you ever compared yourself to someone else on social media? Have you ever looked at someone else and have you ever thought, you know what, I'm posting the same thing. She gets more likes than me. She gets more views than me. And we start to really compare ourselves to where other people are on social media. And I just want to encourage you that that is not a great place to be. And what we typically get to see is someone else's highlight reel. We get to see someone else's highlight reel and we start to compare that to our real life. So I want you to just remember that as we go out there, don't try to really force yourself not to get in that place of comparison, because comparison is the thief of joy. And my hope today is that my story will take away all of your excuses so that you can move forward, so that you can focus on being your real, true, authentic self, not perfect. And that's what Sandy said, I am not perfect on social media. I am not perfect in life. I'm coming to you late for this call. I mean, that's just me. We have to own where we are. And even on social media, not portraying that perfect life. Now, we don't want to go out there and talk about all of our struggles every single day. I'm not saying that, but not posting about just perfection every day, because people are going to relate to your struggle. You think about anybody who you relate to their struggle, not perfection. So everybody has a chapter that they don't want to read out loud. I understand that. I have some of those myself, but when we can own our story and love ourselves through that is the bravest thing that we will ever do, Brene Brown says. And I know some of you have gone through that class with Brene Brown, and it's been absolutely incredible. So God has shown me that I can help other people through my struggles. And so I really like to share that with other people. So this is where my health journey started 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago. This was my little guy here. He was born premature. He came 8 weeks early. And so he was at 32 weeks, he was born. And by the time he was 6 years old, he had some developmental delays, but he also had a lot of sickness going on. And so because of being a preemie and all of that, he had some catching up to do. And by the time I heard about Juice Plus, he was 6 years old, and he had strep throat 7 times in a 4-month period. And I was looking for a way to help my family get well. And a friend of mine invited me to a wellness presentation, we called them back then, and I got to hear about fruits and vegetables in a capsule from a lady at the front of the room. And I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I need this for my family. The problem was we were struggling financially. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but I want you to know I found a way to work it into our budget. And I can literally share this business and this product with anybody because it benefited our family so much. And this was my little guy. He just wanted, from the time he was little, he wanted to play basketball with his brother. So that's his older brother there. And whenever he was a freshman, he worked so hard. He got healthier and healthier as he started on Juice Plus from the time he was a little guy, started on Juice Plus and wound up never having to have his tonsils taken out. He continually got healthier. His biggest dream was to play basketball with his brother. And as a freshman in high school, he had worked so hard that he got to start on the varsity team with his brother being a senior, and they got to play together. And it was one of the most beautiful moments of the night. But then he got to continue his dream, and he wanted to be a college basketball player. And today he is fulfilling that dream at a college in St. Louis. He's a college basketball player. And I am so thankful because this was his dream, and he's getting to live that dream because he has good enough health to live it. And had Juice Plus not come into our lives, I don't know if that would have been our story. So I am forever grateful for that. Now, when I said yes to the product, I also said yes to the business, but I had no idea what was in store for my future. This is what our family looked like then. You know, our family looks different now if you know us from social media, but I had no idea. And so I just want to encourage you to build a business before you need it. When I said yes to Juice Plus, this was in 2007. I mean, you know, my biggest dream was probably just to make a couple $100s a month, honestly. And so your goals and your dreams change as time goes along. The Juice Plus products brought me a beautiful business. I made it to sales coordinator in 4 months, and I knew that I would be an NMD within 3 years of starting that date. I just knew it. And you know what? 6-8 years later, I still was not an NMD. So like our plans are not always the plans that God has for us. And we just go and we continue to make the next right decision. But I can tell you, as sales coordinator, I was stuck there for 5 years. Have you ever felt like this turtle? Like, have you ever been in a spot in your life or in your business where you're like on your back and you feel like you just can't do anything, like you are just stuck? I started having this negative thinking. I started thinking, this business isn't for me. God doesn't want me in this business. I started thinking, nobody wants to hear from me. All this self-doubt, I can't do this business. And I am going to tell you that sometimes you have to put your big girl panties on. And there may be men on this call too, but put your big girl panties on. And my biggest growth happened when I felt like giving up in this company. I can tell you that my biggest growth happened. I knew that I was made for more than being stuck in a vicious cycle of defeat. I was not made for being a victim of my poor choices, and I was made to be a victorious child of God. And I knew that in order to make a difference in this world, I needed to get out of my own way. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about this because it was through a connection call. My upline called me with my mom. Connection calls are huge. If you're not embracing connection calls in this business, I'm going to encourage you to do that. Through a connection call, I talked to my upline, and she asked me if I was going to the Juice Plus conference that was coming up in Arizona. And I said, no, I wasn't. And she said, what's going to change if you don't go? And I said, I'm putting in teaching applications. I have my teaching degree. I'm filling out applications. I'm going to go to work for a school. And she said, what could change if you do go? And I did not have that answer. And I'm going to ask you guys, if you have not committed to conference that's coming up, what could change if you do go? We don't know the answer to that, but I want you to know that that was the most powerful event I'd ever been to. I felt like the man, you guys probably remember, some of you have been around long enough. Keith Cunningham spoke from the front of the room. He talked about getting in line and staying in line, and I swore he was talking just to me. And through that big event, I got big vision. He talked about getting in line and staying in line. So think about this. Imagine this, a cafeteria line. You start at the back of the cafeteria line, right? And if you stay in line, you'll eventually get around to the front. But if you jump out of line, you have to go back to the back. What I was doing in my business was getting in line, jumping out of line, having to go back to the back. And I was in this vicious cycle of starting over because I wouldn't just stay in line. It was so impactful to me. I learned so much. I had to take a good hard look in the mirror. I was running hot and cold in my business. And I want you to know that consistency is the key, and people can only follow you when you know where you're going. For things to change, you have to change. You have to know where you're going. If you're the leader of your team, tell your team what your goals are. And I had to come home and I had to set some non-negotiables for my life and for my business. I decided I was going to touch my business somehow every single day. I was also going to take part in some type of personal growth every year and I was also going to plan well, because people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And some of the non-negotiables in my life were those conferences. 2 conferences a year and 2 boot camps a year. My family events come after that, and then my Juice Plus events come after that. And look at the jars. I remember seeing this analogy from somebody else before, and it made perfect sense to me. When you put the big rocks in first, like your conferences and your boot camps, all of the other stuff will fit around it just perfect. But if you wait until the day, the month, a month ahead of conference, something's going to come up. Something's always going to come up. We are busy people. I know I'm not the only busy person. Something is going to come up. If you don't plan it, it'll be planned for you. So when we set the big negotiable, or the big rocks first, all the other things will fit into your jar, I promise, and into your life. And I want you to know that if it doesn't challenge you, it will not change you. Change is hard, but staying the same is also hard, and you get to choose your hard. I would have been missing out on this life because I didn't want to change. And sometimes it's hard to embrace change, but I want to ask you if you'd like to see your paycheck increase, because we're going to talk about some of the ways that people are making money is changing. Our tools are changing. Social media has changed our world forever. Look at all of these things that you could be a part of here on social media. In 2021, 79% of people in America had a social media profile. When I started this business, less than 10% had a social media profile. So things are changing. These numbers up a ton. So let's talk about what different platforms there are. There is Facebook. There's over 2 billion people on Facebook. There's over 2 billion people on Instagram. And there's over 2 billion people on TikTok. Are you on all of these platforms? If not, I'm going to encourage you, try it. Try it out. Put yourself out there. Get on one of these platforms, because it is so worth it. It is so worth it. Okay, there are 80 million active users each month. This is on TikTok. This is an older statistic even. Like, this is from a few months ago. It continually goes up. And I know some of you are saying, you know what? I think I'm too old for TikTok. Look down here. 5% of the people on TikTok are baby boomers. I understand that's over 5%. Do you know that's still over 4 million people on TikTok in the United States? That's still a big percentage of people. Sandy, one of your videos popped up on my For You page today. Like, that is incredible. We never know who we're going to see on there. So put yourself out there. Tell the world what you have to say. Here, this is one of the age breakdowns as well. You can see there, like, it's some great, I don't know why that keeps going off. I apologize. I'm going to turn that off. One of these great percentages here. So here's one of the things. Are you posting consistently on social media? Facebook, Instagram, we have Reels, we have Stories, we have TikTok. Try one new thing. You don't have to be an expert at all of it, but do people know who you are as a person? Do people know who you are, that you're a part of the Juice Plus company? That doesn't mean I want you posting Juice Plus out there, but you do want people to know what company you represent. People are watching you, even if they're not liking or commenting, they are watching you, and we want them to think of you whenever they're looking for a solution. 70% of social media users look at social media before bed, and 66% look at it when they wake up. Y'all, this is what people are filling their head with. We want them to think of you whenever they have a problem. And we want them to know who you are as a person. Let your followers and friends know who you are through your posting. Build that trust with them by letting them see who you are as a parent, who you are as a spouse, who you are as a friend. Let them fall in love with you so that they trust working with you. Eventually, people will be reaching out to you. And that's the goal, right? Sometimes I hear people say, I just don't know who else to talk to. What if you had people coming to you to talk every day? That's the goal with social media, is to really get yourself out there. Now, you're getting yourself out there may not look like mine. Okay, mine's a little crazy. We have a lot of fun in my family. And you can see here, even Stuart and Janet got in on a TikTok video here at one of our NMD meetings. This is my family. We have a lot of fun, but what works for me may not work for you. You may have a totally different line that you want to go down. You may want to, maybe you're really into fitness and that's your thing. Maybe you're really into towers or gardening and that's your thing. Find your niche, find what works for you, and start to be real and authentic in that to post yourself out there. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And I was struggling in my business. I knew that I needed to do something different. So I joined TikTok just because my kids had it. Honestly, I just wanted to see what they were a part of. And they were giggling about stuff. And they were like saying some different things about, TikTok. And they would say something, I'd be like, I don't understand. And they'd say, well, it's a TikTok thing, you don't get it. So about a couple times of that, and I was like, you know what, I want to get it. So I got on TikTok and I started to see what it was all about. And let me just tell you, we have had the best time. And this is an older slide here, but we have over 1.4 million followers on the TikTok. Our Instagram is up almost to 18,000. Facebook, we have over 43,000 followers on there. That's a huge place to be posting now too with the Reels. But one thing I want you to know is that you do not have to have a big following in order to have a big influence. Start somewhere. Sandy, I was looking back kind of through your page, and you have how many followers?
Like 4,000, somewhere in there.
4,000 followers, but a few of her videos have gotten over 30,000, 40,000 views. Like, that's incredible because she's putting herself out there. You don't have to have a big following in order to have a big influence. Whatever that is that people are relating, they're going to see that. And then whenever they like you or they follow you, then that's what they're going to see more of on their page. And so every single person's For You page on TikTok looks different. So I'm not going to get into the whole ATM system. I could talk a little bit on it. Do you all use an ATM system?
Jill, I know what ATM is, but I'm guessing that some of my people might not.
Okay. Do you guys have a system? The ATM or not?
As a group, no.
As a group, okay. All right, that's something that we can even talk a little bit more about. We started plugging our people into a Facebook group so that they would have a community. And people, what they see when they join in that group, maybe, do you have a customer group?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what ours is. It's a customer group.
Okay.
And it's a way that we can add people, we tag people, and then we message them. But we try to make our customer group very valuable for people. So people are going to see health tips, they see recipes, they see fitness tips, they see some stories on there. We give giveaways sometimes, and it's a way that we can add people in. So ATM is add, tag, message. We add people in, we tag them in a story or something like that, or even a corporate video that's listed on there, and then we message them and we get into community where more and more people are a part of our community. We're getting ready to go live in that group next week and do like a lunchbox event. But our goal is to make them a part of that customer community so that we can really show them what we have to offer as a culture and as a community there. So I did just want to touch base on that a little bit. And I will also say that this is our part of our team now. And this was at the last conference. And then this is my mom. My mom, I have always said she is better at 69 than she was at 54. She started this business with me the week that I started. And she has been healthier. I mean, she's almost 70 years old and she has been so healthy. She's never been on any type of medication. And part of the reason will share with you, I've been a little scattered. She actually just had a heart attack this past week. And she's okay. I didn't get to share with you, but my dad had a heart attack when I was 19, and we lost my dad as that massive heart attack. And so that's always been part of my story about why I wanted to get started on Juice Plus. Well, my mom this week, she had some things going on, and it was like taking me back 22 years ago to when that happened with my dad, and same house, everything. And I had to call the ambulance, and they came and they got her results back. And they said she had the mildest heart attack that's possible. And they could not believe how healthy she is, how great her blood work is, and that she's on 0 medication at the age of 69. And y'all, I just want to say that's the power of these fruits and vegetables in her body. I don't know where that situation would have gone had she not been flooding her body with these fruits and vegetables for the last 15 years. So I am more thankful today. It's been a rough week. I can tell you a few other things, but it's been a rough week. But look at, this is another friend, Amanda DeClue. She was struggling with an autoimmune disease. She would post on Facebook, and I would say, Amanda, come and learn about Juice Plus, or, I would send her messages and are you open to learning and blah, blah, blah. And I just continued to love on her for a couple of years. She finally said to me, you just want my money. And I said, I don't just want your money. Can you come and look to this event with me? It was a Kentucky Lakes boot camp. She wound up coming to that event. She walked away with hope. And I am telling you that here she is. It's been 6 years, probably 6, 7 years. She is no longer on any medication for that disease. Her daughter also had been diagnosed with a disease. And the only reason she listened to me that weekend was because her daughter was a senior in high school and was being put in a wheelchair because she couldn't function as well with the same disease as her mom. And her mom came and she got hope. And I can tell you now I know it all goes back to the research, but this is her story. And this is why we continue to get out there and we share these stories. She is living life to the fullest now. She moved to Georgia. Her daughter went to Baylor College. She's no longer in a wheelchair. They are up and they are living life to the fullest. Jessica Jackson was struggling with fertility. She just wanted to have babies. And so they decided to adopt. And then before you know it, she took part in our Shred program. She listened to Dr. Mitra Ray, and Mitra Ray talked about how she could get people pregnant with the Shred and changing their lifestyle. And here she is with the family that she always dreamed about. And I just say that because I know that there's people in your life that you need to have these conversations with. And sometimes we don't have those conversations because we're worried about what other people are going to think about us. And sometimes we're worried about posting on social media because we're worried about what other people are going to think of us. I just want to encourage you that this is your life. Do not let those things stop you. What other people think of you is none of your business. And if I would have let what other people think about me or stop me, I would not be living this life of the options that I have today. People talk about me on TikTok. People talk about me on, I live in a small town. I hear what people say. It's not always very nice, but that's okay. That is okay with me because I know what I'm up to. And you're going to have obstacles and you're going to have challenges, and they're going to make you dig a little bit deeper. And that's part of my story right now. I'll get to that in here in a second. Life happens for all of us. Right before NMD, my marriage was falling apart. We had 3 kids that were 17, 15, and 12. I lost 2 sales coordinator lines right before we hit NMD, and my granny passed away, who I was extremely close with. Things are not slowing down. Things do not get easier. You have to decide what's worth it. The challenges are worth it. When we hit NMD, it was so worth it. Now we have one that has graduated college, one that's in college, one that's moving to college tomorrow. We're taking her. I was outside loading the car, taking her to college tomorrow. She's moving 4 hours away. We have one that's a senior. We have, this has changed a little bit since I did this. We adopted him. He was not an expected part of our plan. He's one of the biggest blessings, and only because of this business was I able to take that on physically, emotionally, mentally, all of that. And from what I learned in personal growth, and, Nikki, you and I have gone through some personal development together, and it's been huge for me in my growth of being the mom that I'm capable of being. We own 4 businesses. We've moved 4 times in 2 years. Challenges do not go away. You have to decide what is worth it in your life. And I am just going to share with you that the only thing that is stopping you is you. So what's it going to take for you to change your story? We tell people not to wait on a health crisis to change their health. Don't wait on a crisis to build your business either. We did not wake up today to be mediocre. You are not replaceable. You are here for a reason, and God made you for a purpose. Do you know that $500 a month could save most marriages and most foreclosures? We have a big mission. There are people that are out there looking for you. They are waiting for you to say yes so that they can say yes. Think about who shared it with you. Had they not said yes, your life may never be changed because of that. So I'm going to encourage you to get out of your own way, because we can have results or excuses, but we cannot have both. All right, that is what I had.
That's so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't even tell you how great this was. I want to have that to listen to at least once a week. So thank you, Nikki, that you recorded it. And I know that everyone is thinking of other people you would like, other team members you would like to hear hear this. I love this. You are not replaceable. You can have results or excuses. You can't have both. This was just all so amazing. Thank you. And with everything that you have going
Sandy,
on.
before we
us.
end, I just want to make sure I say something before we close.
Go ahead.
Are you sure? Because I interrupted you and I didn't really mean to do that, but I was
That's
afraid you'd close it up. So Jill, you know, I don't know when it was, I don't know, however it was when you started getting notoriety for TikTok. Of course, I went on and I started following you, and then all of a sudden it was Facebook, and then all of a sudden it was Instagram. And you are so incredibly vulnerable, and you really share some very deep personal pieces. And I just think that that's what is so attractive. You are so you. And I see other people that are doing really well on social media. I follow them not because I like the people, because I'm fascinated with their authenticity. I'm fascinated that they would actually post something that offends me. And I keep watching them because they have the nerve to be themselves. And that's what you do. You constantly be yourself. And it just, I can't wait for your next TikTok, your next whatever, watching your kids, the games that you all play. It's like, I want to be your best friend. And I can't say enough about your authenticity and why that's why you have so many followers. It's all about you and your family and what you love and what inspires you and what tickles your fancy. And you don't really care if somebody likes it or not. And it's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. That's very kind. And, you know, I know that that's not everybody's thing. That's just somewhere that I feel like God has used me and that I can use my struggles to help other people. I know that that's not everybody's thing. And so I do really appreciate you saying that. And I didn't even leave room for time for questions or anything. So I apologize. I mean, I can stay on, but if people have questions, but
and actually, we gave you 30 minutes. You only took 25. So we have a few minutes for questions if anyone has one. I've noticed the chat has just gone like crazy, but all good stuff. Does anyone have a question for Jill?
I have a question.
yeah.
I'm so excited to follow you. I can't believe I haven't. So when did you start to experience a shift from just a couple hundred, you know, follow likes to suddenly something popped?
You know, all it takes is one video truly to really go viral in order to build your following a lot. And that's what I will say. You know, the things that I'm most vulnerable about are the things that go viral, especially our adoption story, because people like to see multi-races. And that's something that we have in our family. We adopted a Black son, we're a white family. And so that probably is one of the main things, but also we speak a lot on foster and adoption and all of that as well. But it took my first big video that really went viral was about adoption. And with that one video, we got about 20,000 followers. Yeah, Heidi.
Hi, Jill. How you doing, hon?
I'm good.
It's been a long time.
I know.
We can give you a hug in Atlanta. I'm curious, with the ad tag message, how did you get your team more active and get more participation?
Yeah,
from your team.
You know, I knew I didn't have time to go into that deep, but that is a big piece of something. And if I don't know what your group looks like. Nikki, do you guys do like a whole big group where you have multiple NMDs in it?
We have a couple other NMDs in it, not very many. And the NMDs are active, but a lot of the people aren't super active. And I just know when I hear other teams going, man, it's the, we call it our wellness community, and it's a beautiful page and there's a lot of great stuff on it. It really is a good page, but we haven't had a total buy-in, I think, from the team to get how this could serve them and how this could serve their customers.
Yeah. So I will say, do you want me to show you ours?
Sure. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, I would love it. Thanks.
Okay. Oh goodness. I know I'm trying to pull it up before Living Well community. All right, let me go screen share.
And Jill, who is your upline?
Rhonda Hubbard is my upline.
It's been driving me nuts.
Yeah, Rhonda's my upline, and then Barb, and then Christine and Wendy. So that is my lineage there. This is something that I did not do with Rhonda. This is something that I did on my own. Now, if I had to go back and do it again, I would try to get more people involved, because it is harder work once you have people, once you have a small group, because then you really have to build. We started from nothing and we had to build. We're up at 1.3K members, and we're continually trying to build that. So like, here's my mama. Like, my mom posted a video. She made a TikTok video. I just had her post it in here too, so people could see it, that maybe aren't on, TikTok. It's about the product. It's about the business. So she posted that on there. There's different meal planning things. There's different, you just have to get the buy-in from your leaders. Here's a couple of the stories. And so it's a private group. I feel like it's okay for us to have a couple of those stories on there because it is a private group. But we have somebody who does Monday motivation, and then different times we do a planning at the beginning of the month for people to do. Now I will show you this. This is something we did, and I took this from Christine April. We have guides, and at those guides, they have a lot of information in them. So your journey matters. There's a welcome message there. Here's a lot of our Juice Plus videos. Guide 3 is all about our trio. 4 is about Omega. 5 is about complete, then Tower Garden, then our healthy starts for families, our research. We have the shred stuff. We have all of our recipes. So when people don't know where to get that recipe, all we're doing is tagging them in the recipe. So all of these things are right here. Salad in a jar, there's all kinds of resources here. So let's say that I add someone into the group. I let them know, hey, I've added you into our group. You have to hit accept. Once you hit accept, I'm going to tag you in a video, and just put got it under the video so that I know that you got it. So then I may tag them in whatever video that is. I tag them a lot of times if it's about autoimmune in Amanda's video. So I'm tagging them in the video, and I'm saying, listen to the story. You're going to love it. And then I'm sending them a private message. So that's how we work it. You add, you tag, and then you message. And it is taking the buy-in from all of your leaders, sales coordinators, all of those leaders, to really get this community where it's offering value to your people.
And I just want to say, we've got 2.3 thousand people in our Live Healthy, Be Happy group.
That's awesome.
But we need more leaders to really take hold of it. And, and every month we do a different shred, little 10 days at the beginning. It's all part of the same group, but we need volunteers. And so we need people to really get that this really will serve. How many of you on our team have had somebody's post seen by one of your customers, and that customer has ended up buying another product because they saw a post that somebody else did? I know you're raising your hands. We all have. So I just really wanted to have you talk a little bit about that.
I have another
question. Go ahead, Heidi.
So and it's gone out of my frigging head. Never mind.
It's okay. You'll think of it. So it will take the buy-in from, your team. Go ahead. Do you think of it?
I remembered. So when you do your calendar, do you do it for the whole month, every day throughout the month, and everybody picks a day? Is that how that works?
Not exactly. Let me see if I can screen share again. Oh, shoot. No, I X'd it out. Okay. Not exactly. I may have just a couple of times where I have, twice a week for sure, where somebody is getting in there, being consistently active in doing something in that group, twice a week. And then the rest of that, I'm just encouraging people to be posting authentically. I don't want to tell people what to post all the time. I mean, we have leaders. I know some of you guys are leaders. Post what you should be posting in there as far as what's valuable. What do you want people to see? What do you want people to hear? What would be valuable if you were new? Maybe it's even just taking a picture of you going out and going for the run and asking, you know, what kind of exercise did you all get today, to start to get the conversation going to where more people are going to see that group. You know, one time I was making a smoothie and I just popped a picture of the smoothie in there and said, what's your favorite thing to put in the smoothie? There was maybe 100 comments of people and they put their favorite thing to put in a smoothie, you know, really getting engagement, because then when something else is posted, then that's the way the Facebook algorithms work, is they're going to see it if, you know, the more action there is in that group.
Great, thank you.
Sandy, did you have something?
Yeah, one question. So how did you get people in the mindset? Because I love the idea of inviting prospects when you're on social media, you're talking to people, inviting them to that group, but that is a mindset because we think of it as our customer group. And so just curious how you got that across to yourself and others.
I think it just has to be in the forefront of your mind as a leader. Like, that is one of the tools that we use to get people into our business. You know, that's one of the tools we want them to see what we're all about. And so whenever they come in, if for prospects and customers, we used to make it only customers. And then we were like, that's crazy. We want prospects in here because we want them to see what we're all about. So we add anybody that is interested in Juice Plus. Now, I do say I have my admin set where they cannot post. I have to approve any post, because I don't want somebody posting something they shouldn't. And I have admins and moderators in that group because I want that to be something where I don't want somebody from another company coming in and posting something, or somebody posting something they shouldn't be. So all of those get approved through our admin. So they can't post unless it's approved, but they're added into the group and they can be posting, you know, anybody can be posting, but it's just that it's in the forefront of your mind. Like, that's one of our steps in our startup. We add people to the group, we add them to our team page, we add them to that page. Now, I do have another page that it's for the business side of things, and 12 NMDs got together, and we've really been kind of piloting that group to see what difference we can make in that group with adding people in just as national marketing directors, and we've each taken a month. So I personally think if you can get more people involved, and maybe you have multiple teams where you can say, hey, you take this month, you know, and your team with this leg take this month. I think more hands make lighter work for everybody.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect sense.
Yeah.
Anything else, Nikki?
No, I'm just so happy to have you on, and I'm excited to keep following you because your family is just so much fun. They're just so quirky and perfect.
Well, thank you. Well, if you guys have other questions, I'm happy to answer whatever I have and help you guys in any way. And I do apologize again for being a little bit late tonight.
That's okay. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. If you'll take yourself off mute so that you can tell Jill thank you.
Thank you.
Well
Thanks
worth
a
the
lot,
wait.
Jill. We
Thank
so
you.
appreciate you.
Fabulous call.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Jill.
Good night,
It was
everyone.
fabulous.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you all.
Incredible
Bye.
training.